Hi, everybody. This is Audrey Moore with Audrey Helps Actors, and this is episode 20. We meet with Karah, with an H, Donovan, and we discuss getting an agent, leveling up, you guys, level up that agency representation. Having a really great agent is so important, and I can tell you I had mostly less effective representation for a really long time, and now that I have great representation, I can only tell you the incredible difference that it makes. I have a wonderful manager who helped me get my agents, and what happened to Karah was she had an agent, and that agency dissolved the adult theatrical department, and she is still without an agent to help her get those auditions. And when she had those auditions, she was booking all the time. So, you think that you're at a safe place because you get credits and things like that, but it's just not really true. So this is a really important episode. If you are thinking about leveling up your representation, or if you're an actor who just needs some representation, we really discuss that. We talk about your footage, we talk about headshots, we talk about connections that you can use to get yourself in the door. All of that is just options to get you in. So enjoy. Okay, and one last thing. This is not the time to get an agent. Agent season, as you'll hear when we have Abby on, is May, June, and October. Don't try to get a rep during pilot season. Don't even do it. What happens is everyone sort of looks at who booked during pilot season, and then they clean house. And once they've cleaned house, then those reps are up for grabs. Also, before pilot season starts, they get ready in October to see who they're going to have on their roster for when pilot season starts getting ready. So, don't look for an agent now. Just be thinking about it. Get ready. All right. I hope you're on your way to an audition. I'm on my way to an audition today, you guys. Am I going to see you on the road?
Audrey helps actors because they don't know anything.
Oh,
Honey, we're live.
we're doing it.
This is how we do here.
Uh-oh.
Are you nervous? You look nervous.
I am.
Kara's so nervous.
Don't say anything stupid.
Yeah, that's right. So hi, everyone. I'm Audrey Moore, and this is
Karah Donovan.
And we are going to talk about Karah's career. As many of you know, I get a lot of emails, a lot of things like that for people I've known a long time. Karah is one of these people, and check in with me probably once or twice a year, right?
Yeah.
In some various sort of panic, distraught mode. So this was no exception. You contacted me maybe about a month ago or so.
Yeah.
To talk about representation, which is a huge game that everyone's trying to play and really wanting to sort of get a leg up in that department. So we're going to talk about that. So we know each other through an acting school that we went to.
Yep.
For the record, Karah, a wonderfully talented actress, has
Thank
always
you.
been, I believe. And you have been at that school how long now?
A little over 8 years.
Yeah, that's great. You already came in, though, pretty well trained, right?
No.
She's like, well, you fooled me, is what I have to
Yay!
say. Yeah, no, I always thought you had incredible discipline, and I thought you came in with training. Because
No, I would say the school taught me everything I know.
Well, isn't that fantastic? So how long have you been pursuing acting professionally?
8 years.
8 years? That's hilarious. And what were you doing before then?
I was a weather broadcaster.
That's correct.
Yes.
And you came to LA to pursue acting in particular, or were you doing something else? What was the story?
Came straight to LA for acting.
For acting.
Yes.
And where were you living beforehand? Were you working as a weather broadcaster beforehand somewhere
Yes.
else?
3 years in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay,
People
great.
thought I was crazy leaving this really great career that I was on.
Yes, well, you're very good at it. And I can imagine that they felt like you had momentum to go forward.
Exactly.
And you were like, I'm out. I'm off to Los Angeles.
Yeah. No, I loved
Yes.
presenting the weather. I felt like
Yeah.
I was really helping people. I felt like a noble profession.
Yes, right.
But I just felt this longing, this calling, and I said, I got to do it now.
Had you done acting in college or in high school? What was it that called to you?
I acted a little bit in my church, believe it or not.
Hilarious.
But I did not act in high school because I was way too studious. I must get straight A's. Who has time for anything else in life?
I'm so excited. We're going to talk about that, which is so great. And tell me about you're married. You guys have been married for a while. It's just, I like people to have like a well-rounded understanding of your life. Okay?
Yeah. Married 13 years.
Oh my God.
I know.
And your husband is a
software engineer.
Love it. I just always like to let people know, like, are you married to a normal person? Are you married to an actor? Or
I guess, like, yes, I would say he's normal.
He's normal.
He would appreciate me saying
that.
that.
Okay, good. I like it. Well, when he met you, you were going to be a weather girl and he was going to be an engineer.
Yeah.
Right? Great. So you surprise your husband. I want to be an actress. You guys moved to Los Angeles. Love it. And he's very supportive to you in your career, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that about him. Every time she does anything, he's right there by her side. He's super lovely every time I talk to him. And so now you're here and you've been here for a while. So let's talk about the point of your career. Like, where are you now? Let's talk about representation, auditions, quality of auditions. Are you going out? Do you have like a theatrical career, a commercial career, a voiceover career? Like, what is your
theatrical?
Theatrical?
Yeah, I never really had any luck commercially.
Interesting.
Shocking, I think.
Yeah, I think that's super surprising.
I can say welcome to Chili's.
I mean, I don't know. I think you must have had weird representation.
Chili's.
Did you ever do a class?
I have taken a class. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the whole workshop scene though for commercials.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't know that you needed to for commercials.
Okay. And I had booked non-union for a video game.
Okay.
I shot a print ad for Milkbone.
Well then.
Which, by the way, was one of my most favorite shoots ever.
Yeah, how could
I got to play and kiss dogs. I actually didn't know I had to kiss dogs.
Oh, funny.
But I'm like, pretend you like this. You like this so
and you're
much.
Like, yee. How funny.
Yeah,
Very
but
cool.
my focus has been theatrical. So every choice that I've been making in my career, it's always been, what do you want long term?
In that direction.
Exactly.
Great. And let's talk about your current representation.
Right now, I just have representation in the Southeast.
And can you tell me, is that an Atlanta-based agent? Where are they?
She is based in Charleston.
Based in Charleston. Is that where you're from?
I have family there, so I'm a local
there.
hire.
Okay, great.
I actually auditioned for a film that was shooting there. She was actually casting it.
Oh, interesting.
She's an agent in Charleston, but for some reason she was casting this film.
Okay.
I auditioned for it.
Great.
She called me and said, hey, would you like representation in the Southeast? I said, sure.
Cool.
So that's been really great for me.
Yeah.
I get a lot of great auditions through her.
Uh-huh. And what's your booking like for that? Like, how many auditions would you say you get in the last 6 months from her? And then what have you booked from her?
So there's definitely seasons. I feel like ebbs and flows. I feel like summer tends to be busier.
Right. Well, that's because, just so everyone knows, television here, the shooting schedule was August through like February. Pilots were being shot February through April, and then film season, all the crew and the people that make the stuff are then on hiatus, so then they would go and do movies. And so that's why you see a lot of your production, particularly in these regional markets, really goes into overdrive in the summertime, because not only do they have their local hire shows of maybe 2 or 3 shows that are in that area, but also now they have some films that are coming in. So that's why you'll have that momentum.
Yes.
Great.
So summer and fall tend to be the busiest times.
Great.
I do not keep count. I mean, I do write it down when I get auditions, but I've never sat down and actually counted the number of auditions that I get from her.
Well, I really recommend you to, just as a side note, and I recommend everybody to do that, just because it can really tell you about how well you're actually doing, because we tend to get into a little bit of our like imagination about how we're doing, and you might discover like, oh, your regional numbers are actually pretty good, and when you audition you book. Or you may discover, I'm doing a lot of work on this regional, but my booking ratio isn't as high as it needs to be. Is that because of me and my talent? Is that because they don't actually want to cast out of LA? Like, what is the thing?
Right.
So when you get these auditions, are you self-taping here?
I self-tape, yep.
Great. And have they ever had you fly back for a callback or fly back to book?
No, I've never had to flown.
Okay, great.
Flown?
Fly. I
Fly.
understand. Fly. Listen, I do the
fly.
same thing. She's just a little nervous, you guys. It's fine. So like, have you booked some stuff out there?
I recently just shot a large guest star.
Oh, great.
For a CBS show.
Oh, wonderful.
Which
Can you
was-
tell us what it is?
Sure.
or-
Yeah, it's
Okay.
called The Inspectors.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's on Saturday mornings on CBS. Very family friendly.
Great.
But it was a great experience.
Yeah.
I absolutely love
So
my
like a
character.
comedic guest star? Is that what it is?
No, it was dramatic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Played a mom looking for her daughter.
Oh, love it.
Yes, that was lost in a hurricane.
And this is ABC Family.
No, CBS.
Oh, CBS.
I
Okay,
see.
great. And you said Saturday mornings or Saturday nights?
Saturday mornings.
Well, that's just so fascinating.
Yes.
Well, we're just going to have to wait and see what that is.
Yes, you'll have to tune
I've
in.
never even heard of a Saturday morning
half-hour drama.
half-hour network drama. I'm so intrigued.
It is about postal inspectors.
Oh, I see.
So all the different crimes that happen through the mail.
Even
it's
more
sort of
fascinating.
So it's sort of educational as well as entertaining.
You guys, I'm so fascinated by this whole concept. Well, I'm so happy that you got that. And would you say you're getting like 1 a month or 2 a month audition wise? Like what's sort of the average?
So during the season, I would say
busier.
2 to 3 times a month.
Okay, great. And most of these we're talking like 1 or 3 lines or 1 to 3 pages.
It varies.
Okay,
I would
great.
say anywhere from co-stars to guest stars.
And then are you following who's booking the stuff that you put yourself on tape for?
Sometimes.
I really recommend for you, Karah, because you like to get work done and you like to be methodical. I really recommend you do it only because it's part of the strategy of seeing what works for you. And if you're putting all these things on tape from Los Angeles and then the people who book it are all these sort of LA or New York actors who have like mounds of credits, then that can tell you that the agent and casting director are sort of like throwing you out as an option, but how that market actually casts their larger parts or smaller parts can really start to tell you that story. So if you notice, all the 1 to 3 lines really are people who like live in that exact area, then, you know, they don't really want to mess with the fact that you're going to have to fly there, you're going to, you know, any of that sort of action. And they could tell just because it's on tape and it's not in their actual casting office. Right?
Right.
So just trying to, I want you to maximize your time and maximize that market and not just be happy that you get auditions and happy that you're doing well. I want you to really like harness it. Okay. So now let's talk about your LA representation and what happened. Where did they go?
Where did they go?
Where did they go, Karah? So you guys can IMDb Karah. I also want to tell you this. I think you should start introducing yourself as Karah with an H, because when you Google yourself, it doesn't come up.
Ooh.
And so I think you should be like, hi, I'm Karah Donovan. And then like, oh, Karah with an H. Because
I love that.
It only will take people once hearing that to know that that's who you are. Anyone that you meet in the professional world, so that when they're looking you up, it doesn't take them 10 minutes to Google you. Because it took me a long time to find your stuff.
Ooh.
And it was because it's Karah with an H.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Sarah.
Like Sarah, exactly. So Karah with an H, Karah Donovan. And you can Google her. You can go on our IMDb. She's got a solid amount of credits that our show's filming here in LA. So you had representation. How long ago was that?
About a year.
Okay. And did they call you and say it's not working out, or the agency closed, or what happened?
The agency closed the department.
This is so common, you guys. I just want you to know. And can you tell us what agency it is?
Sure. It was Osbrink.
Okay, it was Osbrink. So that's a solid mid-level-ish agent here. And they closed their theatrical department and are only now what?
They closed the adult theatrical department.
I see. So they're only youth. Okay.
Yes.
And why is it you didn't get an agent right away? Did you try, or were you sort of like devastated and you're like, I have some momentum in the South?
Well, I was devastated because they were
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
We really understood each other. We both worked really hard. We had amazing audition.
And did those agents go somewhere else, or did they just stay there and work on kids?
They left.
And where did those agents go?
Well, they used to be casting directors, and
Okay.
so they said they were getting back into casting. I don't know if they did or not.
See, this is the thing, you guys. So like the first thing you should have done is when the agency department closed, you should have contacted those agents and said, where are you going?
We did.
Great.
So
and
yes,
they
I
were
spoke
like
with them.
casting.
But I don't know if they actually ended up getting back into casting.
So now would be a really great time to check back in with them.
I have.
And so what have they said?
No response. Because they initially offered to help refer me to anybody.
Right.
But that just never happened.
How many agents are we talking about? 2, 3?
There were 2.
2 in particular. Have you been able to Google, find your way to find out where they are?
I've looked. Yeah, I don't think that they're anywhere.
So they're not maybe doing casting or any of it. Yeah,
Correct.
that's also not uncommon that they're sort of just bounce out of the business in general. Great. So you guys know when you have a great agent and you love your agent and you're doing really well, and people ask me about like, should I get a manager? Those sorts of things. This is another reason why it's good to have 2 people working for you. Because if one person falls off the earth, which I just want you guys to know, it happens so often. My agency that got me the Netflix show, they dissolved that department while I was shooting the show.
Wow.
And I had to come, and when I was here for like a week in between when I had a break, I like went on meetings with new representation. But it was my manager who got me those new meetings, like fast, like right away. If your manager decides not to be a manager anymore, you've got an agent who can set you up with another manager. And if your agents decide that they're going to close their department, or they go bankrupt, or the agent leaves and the other agents don't want to take you on, or whatever happens all the time, you guys, you have a manager still who's A, still getting you out, and B, has the connections to hopefully get you new representation.
And I think having both is a great spot to be in, right?
Absolutely.
Why not have more people working for you?
And so when you were with your theatrical department and you were doing quite well, why didn't you ask them to get you a manager at that time? You just didn't know.
I just thought things were going well.
Yeah, see, that's common. I want you guys to think about growing and not to think about maintaining, and really push yourself to grow. And so when you have momentum and you either have an agent or you have a manager and you start getting some bites and start some bookings, that's the time to then grow and get the next person to help you on the list.
Absolutely.
Great. So now you're in this place where you have a solid amount of credits. You don't have any representation out here. Does your representation in the South have any connections to representation out here?
She does. I did reach out to her, and
what'd she
she would
say?
be willing to put me in contact with a manager.
Okay, with a manager. And have you met with that manager yet?
I have not.
Okay, good. And so we're going to talk about mostly the level in which you are pursuing agents. So you have reached out to some higher level agents and you feel like you didn't get any response.
Correct.
And so how many higher level agents did you reach out to?
A lot.
Tell me. Are we talking like 8? Are we talking like 15? Like
I reached out to both agents and managers, like 15 each.
15 each?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And how many times did you reach out to each of them?
A lot.
And how many times is this a lot? Like 3 times each, or 3 times to the top 5, but once to the other 10?
If I had to say on average,
Yeah.
5, 6 times.
Great. And when we say reach out, we mean emails? Do we mean flowers? What do we mean?
I was emailing.
Emailing. Great. I'm so glad you're here. We have so much to discuss. Because yes, you should have representation. It is a harder place for your category in the top level right now, only because these last 2 years have really been focused on diversity. Once the Oscars got hammered with not having any diversity again, when I had my rep meetings, my reps were just really honest with me that there were several people at that agency, and the people who were diverse got some real bites like right away. And for me, it was actually the rosters that had a lot of diversity in the roster and that had nobody like me that were the ones that were interested in taking me on. And a lot of the top places, they are crowded with a bunch of white people with long resumes. And as casting and television begin to reflect the real world, which is a diverse world, what I am being communicated to, just so you know, is that it is harder right now to get somebody of your level push in a nicer agency, because who they're really looking for is people who are diverse.
You're absolutely correct.
And that's what you're being told.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. So that being true, here's a couple things. Right now, the lead characters are still white and the surrounding cast is diverse. And last season, there was a couple things that had the balls really to do diverse leads and then cast a diverse and including white and whatever of all ages around that lead cast member. But it's going to maybe take a year or two for it to all kind of find its new groove. So where does that leave you? Let's talk. But wait, Karah with an H, wait. I have to interrupt you.
And now it's time for the new show rundown.
All right, today for the new show rundown, we've got a pilot, your first pilot. This one's called Compliance. It is a pilot for FX, and this one is out of New York. Yeah, what's up, New York? You got a show. It is casting in Los Angeles and New York. I'm sure in other major markets such as Atlanta and Chicago. Certainly, you'll probably get an opportunity to do self-tapes. This is pretty beginning of pilot season, obviously. This is cast in Los Angeles by Allison Jones and New York by Cody Beeks. This is a comedy. I don't think it's a half hour, but it is Allison Jones. Those of you guys who don't know, she does all of the Seth Rogen stuff and things like that. So she did The Office and really well known for her comedic pull in the comedy world to pull the best comedic talent out. So this is a rules-obsessed SEC compliance officer is assigned to a massively successful but controversially unethical New York real estate mogul. So, I think it's going to be like an Abbott and Costello. Like, this guy, he's so dangerous, and this guy, he's so safe. So take a look if that's something that you're interested in. I do believe the script is out and around, floating about. If that sounds like a really great world for you, anything in the finance world or in the compliance world, if you look great in a weird suit, that's probably a good niche for you. The age range for the lead characters, I believe, are in their late 20s, mid 30s. So that's the age range for those guys. Obviously, it's two men. That means they're probably going to be casting some ladies and then some people of the world. So if that's exciting to you, email your reps, see if you can get a hold of the pilot. They should have it already, and see if you can read it and get ahead of the curve. Good luck, you guys. Book it. Book that funny job on FX. Book it.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So I guess first of all, what I want to say about your email is you said to me, I want to be getting these guest star roles. And what I want to say to you is no agent worth their mind is going to take you on as a guest star actor. What they want is a series regular who's going to book a couple guest stars first, maybe, but they'd really rather you book a series first.
I'm on board for that.
Great.
100%.
And so I want your communication to be more of like, I'm a series regular, ready to be a regular on a series, than I'm a person who wants to be getting these guest star credits. So in your communication, how did you communicate that?
I've had so many different templates.
I understand. Yeah.
I think I communicated series regular.
Good. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the giant disaster that is your footage.
Uh-oh.
She's in trouble, you guys. She is in trouble.
You looked at that?
Of course I looked at that. How can I help you if I don't look at that? Because you write this email. They're going to Google you. And so you have a reel on there that automatically shows up. So when you guys have a reel from 2015 and it's 2017, it looks like you haven't worked in 2 years, which may be true. But if you haven't worked in 2 years, you need to delete that file and re-upload your reel to say 2017, because it's going to look like you have recent momentum. Because a lot of the shows that you've been on are still airing. And so they don't know that you were on it X amount of years ago or you were on it last month. Nobody knows and nobody cares. Okay. You also have your Weather Girl reel up there from 2008, which is very easy to find. Your reel is way too long. It says a little desperation because it's so long that you're saying, here's all the work I've ever done. Here's what I want you to see.
That's interesting that you've not seen my recent reel.
Well, I did, because I also found your reel on IMDb, and I also found your reel on Breakdowns. But what I want you to know is the ones that pop up when I Google you, which takes me 10 minutes to find your name. And then I finally spell it correctly. And then I see it up there on videos when I do Karah Donovan reel. your 2015 reel comes up and it's very long.
Mm-hmm.
You do have on the breakdowns your clips split up into different things, which I think is great. But even the reel that you have on IMDb is like your 2 or 3 scenes from Heart of Dixie, like all up front. And I feel like I get Heart of Dixie right away. I need 30 seconds of Heart of Dixie. And then you have you as the PA, which is really funny on whatever that show
It's Always
is.
Sunny in Philadelphia.
And I would definitely move that one up since she's on a show right now.
Mm-hmm.
And also you have that really great piece of you as a Stepford wife, which I would maybe even put first, because I think you and I have to have a talk about you bumping up your period look reel. Because one thing that I've noticed from my friends who are of the fairer complexion, as we are, is that period work is really a great way to keep your momentum going.
And I love it.
I know you do, and you're great for it.
Thank you.
And it looks great on you. And you just look like a girl from the cornfields from God knows what decade. And I have noticed that a lot of my friends who have that like middle America look that you and I both have, that the period route is a really great way to go. So I think that you should be getting some period footage. I think that piece should be first on your reel. I think that you should go get some period hinting headshots. I think that you should really start to follow deadline on what are those shows and really try to just focus on it. Because I know when you focus on things, things tend to work for you. So I just want that to be something that you are putting your attention towards.
I love it.
Great. Me too. I would take off Thirsty, which is on there. It looks like something that you filmed randomly because you were kind of bored. And so it doesn't do that, because the rest of your reel is so great and shows you as this professional actress. Also true with Somebody's Watching. I thought that's another one that just kind of looks like you guys slapped. The sound isn't very good, and it automatically just looks very amateur compared to the rest of your very good reel. Your mom, this is so important, you guys. Your mom, Marianne Donovan, is it your mom or your mother-in-law?
Mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law, Marianne Donovan, has on her YouTube page your CSI Miami clip up. But do you want to tell everyone the problem with your CSI Miami clip?
I don't have any dialogue.
She has no lines, you guys. So your mother-in-law, despite her lovely best interest, who just is so proud of you and so excited for you, even if you got all your reels together, you'd be like, oh, she was on CSI Miami. And you'd click that, and then you'd like scrub through like I did, like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And then suddenly you like just appear in a doorway and take a kid forward, and you're like, well, there she is. So I would tell your mother-in-law, I'm going to need you to put that on private or unlisted. Okay. And your website for your contact, you only have yourself listed, and it would be better for you to have yourself agent listed. So at least it looks like you have an agent rather than it's just you flying solo. Great. So now we're going to talk about how you're going to get an agent out here. I'm going to help you. We're going to figure it out. Okay. First of all, let me ask you this. Are you having a good time trying to get an agent?
No.
Great. So that has to change. Because when it's a pain in the ass, then that's, I don't know, you guys hate to get like hippy dippy on you, but then that's the energy that you're giving out. If you're like, fuck this noise, this is bullshit, and why doesn't somebody take me? Then that's the energy that's all over your communication, whether you mean to or not. If you can change it to, I'm really valuable, looking for somebody else who's also really valuable, who's excited about me. I can't wait for my excited rep to come and find me and for us to have a great collaboration together. I'm so excited about this rep that's coming along that's going to be really great for me. I'm so excited to build my team. I'm so excited not just to have my agent, but to have my agent and my manager. I'm so excited to have my publicist. I'm so excited to have my wardrobe, my stylist, my hair person, my makeup person. I'm so excited to have like a team of people who are like on the Karah Donovan track. Like, I want you to be thinking that instead of this like little sort of step in the way. Okay. Now you have a relationship with several casting directors out here.
Yes.
They love you as much as I do. They know that you're hardworking. They know that you're supremely talented. They know that you are responsible. You're not going to embarrass them. You're going to do good work. Have you reached out to them for a referral?
I have in the past.
Yes.
Like years ago.
Yes.
Right. And I feel like I've sort of used those referrals.
So this is the analogy I use to everyone, and I use this all the time because something about acting makes us all feel like, I can't ask for help. If these casting directors, instead of casting directors, managed a restaurant and you had worked in their restaurants in the past and you were looking for them to get you in touch with another restaurant owner who could hire you to work at a restaurant, you wouldn't care how many times you'd ask them because you would be an incredible waitress who's worked in several restaurants and you just need to work at a new restaurant. And can they hook you up with like any number of the many restaurants that they could hook you up with? Worst case scenario, they're going to say no. But I think they're going to say yes. Are there any agents that you contacted that you have met before?
Yes.
Great. Have any of those people that you have met with before responded to your emails?
Yes.
Have all of them responded to your emails?
No.
Of the people who responded to your emails, how many of them said, I love you, but just not now?
One wrote back and said, let me see the footage from the inspectors when it comes out.
Okay. Which is when? 2018?
Spring next year.
Yeah. And then who else emailed you back and what did they say?
Another one emailed me back and we actually had a meeting.
Okay. And the meeting did not go well.
No. He did not pass.
He didn't pass.
We have another meeting set up for me.
Okay, well that's really great.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So you have
that's like my latest news. I've not told you.
So she's like been holding out on me. Okay. So you had a meeting with one person. Mm-hmm. It went really great.
Yes.
And now you have a second meeting. And what is that second meeting for?
He wants me to meet the rest of the agents.
Great. The rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love how this has taken a great turn. Do you have any other meetings I need to know about before we continue this podcast?
No.
Wonderful. Okay, great.
I thoroughly enjoyed meeting this agent.
Meeting.
I really like him.
Great.
As a person, as a professional.
Great.
I actually think it'd be a really great partnership. So my fingers are sort of crossed on that.
But it would be great to have more meetings because more meetings, better chances.
Absolutely.
Great. Oh, I love this for you guys because now you guys all get to hear us strategize on how she's going to like kick the shit out of this meeting. Okay, so when he met with you, what did he like about you? What did he communicate with you that he liked about you?
He thought that I was fresh.
She is fresh, you guys. You are fresh. I mean, absolutely and truly, I do think that you could be a lead on television. I think there's a lot of places for you, and you have a broad range in which you can be cast. As you know, you can do the dramas and you can do the comedies, and you can be the moms, you could be the nurses, you can be the teachers, you can be the counselors, and you could be in any period piece ever, right?
Yeah.
Great. So when you have this second meeting, there's a couple things I want you to clean up before you do it. When is it? Go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to say that he said I was fresh.
Yes.
And persistent.
She is persistent.
Persistent was the very first thing that came out of his mouth.
Well, persistent is good. I'm really glad that he said that about you because what I want to communicate to those of you listening is you're selling something to somebody who doesn't need your product. They don't need it. So unless you're coming to them with like a series regular like commission that they're going to go ahead and take advantage of, they don't need you, nor do they care about you. And that's not personal. That's just like the reality of it, right? So you're persistent. I love that. And it's also BTW, that's your casting.
Yeah.
Like that's part of what is great when I say to people, like, do what's authentic to you. Like a persistent type A girl is your casting.
Certainly a color of mine.
Certainly a really great color of yours, which works in lots of areas, right? So you're going to have this second meeting. Here's what I would love for you to do before them. Fix your reels. Bites. It should be bites. The reel, instead of saying, here's all this work I've done, I promise I'm legitimate. I want it to say, I'm legitimate. Here's some flavors. If you'd like to see more, call me in. I don't think your reel needs to be more than minute and a half. And I would put your weather girl one clip in it because reporter is a really great way into you. And the fact that it's not on your reel already like blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I was sort of hesitant not wanting to be
pigeonholed.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what I'm going to tell you guys.
But it's been so many years.
Yes. That was like 2008. Here's what I want to say to you about pigeonholing. Please pigeonhole yourself. Please. Please do it. It's called your way in. When this is what we talk about all the time here. When we had Buckley on, when we had Amy on, we talk about your casting and your way in. And I'm always saying it's usually a way in. It's not like a multifaceted way in. It's you get something that people know you for. And then because of that thing they know you for, they bring you in for that a lot. And through that, you get your credits and you get your momentum. And then after that, you expand yourself. Okay?
And I certainly think that's a strategy. I feel like that I applied early on.
Early on. Great. And so now
I hesitate in even bringing it up.
Yeah.
I don't often mention that I was a weather broadcaster.
I think it's such a huge special skill. And what makes people really get a leg up in this town is when you have a special skill that's not being an actor. Whether you're a musician, whether you speak like weird languages, whether you are 7 feet tall or you're 2 feet tall or whatever it is, when you have like a thing about you that makes you more interesting than just another actor who came to town who was like pretty back home, but is normalish looking here, and you've got some training behind you, and you really just want to work. Like, that's everyone's story.
And it's a great conversational piece.
Great
for sure.
conversational piece. And also, I would cast you as that in any time period. I would cast you as that in anything current. And there is so much that's happening every single year that is in that environment. And so, like, why not be a series regular as a weather girl from 1962? Like, be that girl.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, right? So I want the weather girl on there, and I want your Stepford girl on there. I want the weather girl on there. I want your Heart of Dixie girl much shorter. We get her fast.
And I've actually already shortened it. I've taken a lot out, so I'll take even
more out
Yeah.
because you get her pretty fast. You have like some where you're friendly, and then you have the one scene where you're a little bit edgier.
Sassy, yeah.
And I think that's good, but then even then break it up. Put one in at one place and put another one at another place and lead with whichever scene is the strongest scene, because when you have too much of that, then we think the only thing you've done is Heart of Dixie, and I'm not going to watch the rest.
Right.
I just go like, okay, well, she's done several episodes of Heart of Dixie. Has she done anything else? And I'm like, oh, she did that. And then I get to the end where you're sort of bored and on a couch, and I go, and that's all she's got for me. It doesn't make you look like a series regular.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, we definitely don't want that. You want to show them like, here's all the things I can do that make me really valuable in this business.
Did you have any thoughts on the Days of Our Lives clips?
You know, the Days of Our Lives clips are fine. I do feel like your Days of Your Lives clips are a little bit sad. You're not doing so much. And then there's one where you're kind of sassy in one of them. You know, maybe make it one with the Days of Our Lives and make one without, and just watch it and be like, does the Days of Our Lives bump me up or take me down? Mm-hmm. Does it make me look like more of a professional or less of a professional? Okay. I think this happens to a lot of actors when they start to get footage, is they want to put everything in with a breadbasket because they want to like show that they've worked. And it usually takes you so freaking long just to get that footage that you want to like put it all in because you're so excited. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't, you know, Amy Lennon saying is, does your resume reflect, and your footage and your materials, headshot, representation, does it reflect where you were, where you are, and where you're going? And I don't think that your footage currently reflects where you're going.
I love this feedback.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good.
Because you don't often get it from people, right?
No,
I mean,
nobody talks to you. I mean,
no one's honest sometimes.
Well, that's the thing that I'm just like so passionate about, as you know, is like being honest with people. But wait, Karah with an H, wait. I have to interrupt you.
Help me. I need some help.
And now it's time for listener questions.
I'm so scared.
This is so how everyone feels, so I just want to shout out to this person. This person says, I came to LA about 18 months ago with little experience in a smaller market. I'm in the union for a job I booked in that market, and while doing background work for the past year, I was able to upgrade a couple of times on set. So my resume has a few co-stars on it. I have a commercial agent, and I've been with them for almost a year. Also a manager I've been with for a few months, and they are both submitting me for projects, but I have had 0 auditions. like zero. I've had my headshots redone twice now, thinking that would fix the problem. It hasn't. I've worked with Amy to restructure my package, and it looks good, and it's what landed me my manager. But again, no auditions. I'm starting to think that this just isn't going to happen for me, and it's very hard to keep going to classes and get better at something that feels like I'll never have an opportunity to actually do. Can we just say, Jesse, can we just say hallelujah to that whole email?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, you guys, to this person who sent me this email. That's right. That's the business you're in. And I just want you to think about math and think about Olympics. Like you're trying for the golds and you don't start qualifying for the Olympics until like years. And 18 months is not years. You know, like if you still have this email in 7 years, that's when you should worry. And I know that that really, really sucks to hear that. I have been there. You guys. It's really exhausting and really heartbreaking. And that's why most people don't last. You're going to be looking at people who have been there for 18 months and they're working and you're not, and you're going to wonder what's wrong with you. And there's just probably nothing wrong with you. Everybody has their own journey in this. This business, like I think all businesses, really takes time. And if you're feeling frustrated now, just wait to see how frustrated you're going to feel in 3 more years when it doesn't feel like you've made any progress. Right? I mean, Jesse's laughing, but it's because it's true. And what my teacher used to say, and I think this is really important, is you have to break down these things into smaller steps. I mean, you got a manager already, and you did that by going to Amy and having her fix your package. That's so great. And you're listening to this episode with Karah. It is hard out there to get a rep, and you got one. And so my teacher used to talk about celebrating the wins, big and small. And it's really easy to forget that it's all these little steps along the way that then land you to the inevitable success of your career. So I don't know if you're following me on social media, if you're like looking at that success and, you know, other friends of yours and comparing yourself to them. Like I track my auditions. Let me give you the numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers right now. These are my numbers for 2017. I had 26 theatrical auditions. I booked 4 guest stars, and I was pinned for 1 more guest star. 5 of those were self-tapes. I had 7 self-tape auditions for the local market. I booked 0 of those, and I had 2 more episodes of a show that I came back on that I was recurring on for Better Call Saul. And I had 56 commercial auditions. I had 17 callbacks, 4 avails, and I booked 0 commercials. 0. That's the career you're in. Everyone's a ninja. And if you can't find a way to really enjoy, I mean, like, love the business process as much as you love the acting process, you're going to be sunk. And either you're going to quit or you're going to stay in and stay really upset. And you don't want to feel how you feel right now for the next 10, 20, 30 years of your life, but worse, do you? So it really is about an attitude change. And I know that that's hard, but I'll tell you, when I learned happiness lies within, I was like severely depressed for a few months because I'd spent my whole life marketing my value as it relates to the success of my career. And then I realized people got success and nothing was really better for them. And I was really devastated. So you have a good life. And then part of that life is your acting, or you have a frustrating life and part of that frustration is acting. You choose. Part of what can be helpful, and part of why I do this podcast, is because there's all these little steps that happen in between you, where you are when you first arrive here, and you, the person who gets a series and is making X amount of money, or is, you know, a lead feature film actor, or maybe you're lead on Broadway. Like, there's all these little baby increments, and nobody tells you about the baby increment steps, but those are those are the steps that get you to the place. And so you have to celebrate and be happy for all those little steps. And if instead you feel like every day you're not on some carpet or in some magazine or, being celebrated at something for how great of an actor you are, if every day that goes by that you don't have that, you feel like a failure, that's a really hard road ahead. And I have been there, and I am here to tell you it does not have to be that way. That is an internal choice that you're making. And I know it sucks to hear enjoy the journey, but it's not even enjoy the journey. It is the journey. This is the journey. It's all your career. So you enjoy it or you don't enjoy it, and that's your choice. Good luck. And I feel you. And I hope that listening to this podcast and seeking out, camaraderie and compassion for others and perspective, I hope that continues to unfold for you. And if not, there's nothing wrong with walking away. There are lots of great career paths out there for you, and you have things in those career paths that you don't have necessarily in our career path. So all my love, and that's what I say to anyone who's struggling. I hear you and I feel you.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So I'm super excited about this second meeting. When is it?
We're still scheduling.
Great. So that might take a second, just so you know. In the meantime, I want you to try to get a couple other meetings scheduled. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick like 3 people, either people you already have connections with or something of the like, and I want you to send them something, and send them something in November and not in December, because in December, they're going to get everything already, right? Either send them something that they can re-gift, which is really nice, so they don't have to go shopping for some other thing that they have to take somewhere, which is really nice. Like get them, even if they're recovered alcoholics, you can get them a bottle of something because they can take it to a party, right? You get them flowers is fine, which is nice. If you get them like something that, a something set where they can then take it somewhere, that's good. But I also think flowers are really nice. And if you're going to do like cookies, they better be the best cookies in town. You want them to eat the cookies and be so astonished by how freaking phenomenal they are that then they call you. I like doing fresh pressed juices too. They're really expensive. They're like $8 a freaking bottle of juice, but you send 5 of those to an office and you just like really try to, the persistence that we're talking about. And this is something that I learned from friends of mine who are in sales. And it's like, you're not going to impinge through the same method that everyone else is trying to impinge through. It's going to have to be something that's a little more effort. If you're going to send your materials, FedEx your materials instead of sending them, because they will open the FedEx because they usually think this is important. Don't do it in a sketchy way because you don't want to like waste their time.
So with the gifts,
yes.
Do I drop them off or get them delivered?
Either one is fine, but if you drop them off, do not try to have a conversation. It's a drop and go. So getting delivered is just a little more expensive, so you don't have to do that. But if you want to like get something and the idea is drop and go. Dress in case they're like, come in, but literally don't try not to make contact. Just drop and go. Leave it with the front, because they already have too many actors trying to talk to them. They don't need anybody else trying to talk to them. And let them come to you. This meeting, here's another thing I want to talk about. I want you to go like you're a star. When I went to my meetings, when I was on break for Godless, I had my hair and makeup done for all of the meetings. And it was expensive. But all but one of them wanted to sign me, which is really great.
Wow.
And even that one was like, we think we want to sign her. We just want like maybe one more credit. And I was like, all right, you're lost. But it just says to them that you're a professional and that you're worth money. And my experience is when you spend the money to say I'm worth money, they can tell that because you're not an amateur. And the only reason I started doing that is because I learned that that's what all the girls are doing. All the higher level girls are doing that. And I'm like, fuck me, bitches. Like, It's just somebody raises the bar and then that becomes the standard.
Yeah, I love that.
Are you thinking big enough?
I have the vision for my
good.
my entire life mapped out.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure that you are. Then I want to talk about what you had brought up earlier, which is you being like a really good girl and a really good student. I want to encourage you, because the thing about the good student syndrome, because I have it too, is that it can be a little confining. And in the same way that you take risks in your work and you can't be like a good girl in your acting, I want you to be taking risks in the business side of this equation. And I can see that it like is already gelling with you. So I just want you to think on that and whatever that means to you. Does that make sense to you?
I think so. I'm just thinking like, yeah, what does that specifically mean?
What does that mean for you?
Right.
I don't know, but it may mean instead of doing emails, a little something else, a little more personal. Here's what it means. Instead of saying, I already asked casting directors to help me once, I'll ask them to help me again. It's that thing, because you're being a good girl. And just know most actors who work a lot of the time are not worried about being good boys and girls. And I'm not telling you to be like an irresponsible jerk. I'm just trying to get you to just a little taste of that side. A little more of a squeaky wheel.
Yeah, that's definitely hard for me. I don't like to impose on people.
I totally get it.
I hate asking for favors.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to ruin relationships that I've worked so hard.
Listen, this is so big for all of you who really feel like you're stuck. This is the thing. Like you have to know that it's a thing, and it's okay that it's a thing, and it makes you uncomfortable, but you're going to get through that. And not doing it isn't getting you where you need to be. So you have to do it. I always say, do you have any questions for me?
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to hear your thoughts on, let's discuss
Yes.
the different ways to get an agent or a manager. I think this might be really informative for our listeners. So, right. You can email, right? Mm-hmm. Not always the most effective. Can be. I've got meetings from it, not just the one we spoke about.
Right.
But there's showcases.
Showcases, yes. There used to be workshops. There aren't anymore. There is getting into anything that performs regularly. So getting into the Groundlings, UCB, things like that, where you're performing regularly for people to see you. I mean, that's probably one of the top ways. The only thing that's unfortunate about that way is that that's for people who want to be comedic actors. And if you want to have a range, you can still be an actor with range who's in that world, but it does take a while to get into that world. So if you're a person who's starting your career, I definitely recommend just starting your way into that world and getting some momentum in that, if comedy is of interest to you. But if it's not, then yes, I think asking friends for referrals, recommendations. I have somebody that I'm thinking of for you. And
if you want to do more of the dramatic side, try to get in plays that are seen.
Plays that are seen is a really hard thing, because who wants to go sit through a play? Not many people. And the way that you do things that get seen is actually you have to be in plays with people who are at a much higher level than you. And that's kind of an underground world, but you can ask people. Like for you could ask your dear friend Samantha Slane how she hears about certain productions.
I've actually sat down with Sam already.
See, she's so good. But she's in a sort of circle that is of a lot of working actors who do plays regularly to sort of, satiate their passion. And then I really recommend finding out about the agents in specific. I had a friend who got an agent because the agent was from Boston, and so he sent him like this whole Red Sox package. And of course, the guys called him in and signed him. It was like, that was really easy, right? So if you can find something about them that is particular, where did they go to college? Like I had a friend who got a meeting and was signed because the agent had just had a baby and the agent went to NYU. And so she sent an agent an NYU onesie.
That's cute.
And it got her a meeting and then got her signed. Mm-hmm. So it's these sorts of things that...
The personal connection,
a little, really a touch that separates you from the rest. And that can be your materials if you're a person who's already, and just so you know, Karah, I mean, it's like the people that call me about the agent thing. I mean, there are people with resumes I would die for that are like, I haven't been out for 6 months and and my manager just dropped me. And I'm like, I don't even understand what we're talking about. So it's not like a problem that is unique to you or to anyone out there. It doesn't seem to me to be a problem that goes away. The girl who plays the first lady on Scandal, she was just dropped, I think, by Gersh like the 3 months before then, because she'd been working guest stars and stuff for a long time, but they sort of decided like she wasn't really pulling in the weight that they wanted her to. She went to get new headshots. She's got a new package together. She went out, and then that pilot season, she booked Scandal. So like it happens all the time, no matter what level you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's the hardest thing about the business for you?
The lack of control.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. That's really hard. What's the best part about the business for you?
Anything is possible.
Yeah. It's the same thing though, right? The lack of control is also what makes anything possible. Because it's not in your hands. If it was in your hands, you'd make what possible the thing you want to be possible, right? But it's not in your control. Yeah. Why acting?
I just love it. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Believe me, I've thought about it. What else can I do?
Well,
in
and you
my
had
life?
a career ready for you, right?
Yeah.
So if you could have done something else, you would have.
Exactly.
But you know the power of hard work and focus over time. That's why I talk with you whenever you want to talk. And that's why I'm so passionate about you, is because it's that sense of spirit that I think really sets you apart. It's the Olympic spirit that I talk about on this podcast of like, you're not just trying to win a regional race. You're trying to qualify for the Olympics, and you're not only trying to qualify, but you're trying to get the gold. And that takes more than just talent. It takes a fierce commitment and persistence and passion and soul searching all the time.
This is my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I dedicate
all of it to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she loves her boo.
Yes. I guess it's split between acting and my husband.
Her boo. Yeah, that's right. What do you wish someone had taught you or managed to get you to understand when you were just a dreamer or a student in this profession?
So when you talk about like, I'm going to move to LA and be an actor, people would say, oh, it's really hard. But what they didn't do was define what really hard means. I'm like, I'm a hard worker. You tell me something's hard,
Right.
I can do it.
Right.
I'll just work my butt off to achieve it. And sometimes you work your butt off and you still don't achieve it in this industry. The more time you put into it and work your butt off, you can.
Yeah.
But it's such a marathon and not a sprint.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that I just feel like you can't understand until you're here, because if I had listened to this podcast when I started my dream on this pursuit and people told me it was hard, you just think, and if somebody said you can work your butt off and it could still not be yours, I would not have believed you. And I would have thought, well, no, you're wrong. And I'm the exception.
Yeah.
Or you just won't do as good work as I will do. Or you just don't know as much as I'm going to know coming in. And it's part of that thinking that is so painful when you discover that then it is actually hard. And the ways that it is. Because you have no control.
Yep.
Yeah.
I totally agree with everything you just said.
Well, there then. What is your biggest struggle right now, personally or professionally?
So professionally is opportunities. You know, I can try to create my own opportunities, and I certainly work hard in doing that, but needing more. It's a numbers game.
Are you reading Deadline on the regular?
Absolutely. Every day, all day.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm like,
I mean, she's the
glued to
boss,
it.
you guys. Yeah, she's the boss ass bitch.
I get the Hollywood Reporter.
Good. I just want to make sure that you're like following projects. Are you reading the scripts that come out? Are you reading sides on Showfax even though you don't have auditions? Are you doing that sort of stuff?
I probably could up my game in that.
I would, only because when you go into this meeting, like that's what you should be doing until you have this meeting. Read sides, and they're posted in order. So go on Showfax, look at all the stuff that's like network, or Google it to see, make sure it's not some like weird ass something that nobody cares about, you know, but like if it's a recognizable name up there, read the sides, see what's what, see who it is, see what they're casting, have things for them, because you just come in like you know the game. And when you can communicate to them, I know the game, that just sets a precedence that you're already a working actor, right?
Definitely.
Great. This is a time where you can plug yourself on social media.
Karah Donovan with an H.
Yes.
Karah with an H.
Yes.
Donovan. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I would say I'm probably most active on Instagram.
Great. We all are, you guys. We like pictures. Okay, mildly interesting. We'll end with mildly interesting.
Oh, gosh, I really should have been prepared for this. I listened to all of your podcasts.
It's fun to be like,
Pressure's
on the
on.
spot.
Yeah.
I'll do mine mildly interesting if that's easier for you.
Yes.
Okay, mildly interesting. You guys, I've talked about downtown LA before, but I want to reiterate. Everything is free in downtown LA, you guys. If you want toys, if you want shoes for your husband, if you want clothes, if you want jewelry, if you want hats, if you want anything, what happens is it's all downtown for like free. And then all the people in Melrose, Santa Monica, Malibu, North Hollywood, wherever, they all go to downtown to buy it all for free. And then they sell it to you at like 40 to 80% markup. But it takes me as much time to go to Santa Monica as it does to go downtown. So if I just go downtown, I get it for free. I'm not even joking, you guys. Like a pair of shoes that if I got on Melrose would cost me $75. It is $12 downtown. $12, you guys. Earrings that if you get at a boutique in North Hollywood, they're going to charge you $25, $30. They are $7 downtown. $7, you guys. $7. Okay, so go downtown for all your shopping.
Where do we go downtown specifically?
Well, you can. Thank you so much for asking, Karah Donovan. Karah with an H. You can go downtown. There's fashion. You can find fashion district. If you do fashion district downtown LA, you can do toy district downtown LA. You guys, you can do candy district downtown LA, jewelry district downtown LA, shoe district downtown LA, and you will find all of it there.
Boom. Christmas done.
It's so great. It's like it's free. I'm telling you, it's all free. Okay, Karah, mildly interesting.
Gosh, I've been thinking this whole time. My life's very exciting. I don't know why I don't have something
books,
mildly.
movies, shows that you want to pimp out?
I want to plug True Foods.
Ooh.
I love food. Okay. This is what I mean. And I feel like I live at True Foods.
I love it.
It's like all like, it's not, they do have meat, but there's a lot of like plant. It's just very healthy food. And they have the best vegan ice cream.
Oh.
Okay. I'm not vegan.
Uh-huh.
But I love this ice cream. You would not know. It's made from coconut.
Yes.
And it tastes like vanilla.
Yes.
It's like a vanilla ice cream. Anyways, super
Where is True
great
Foods?
consistency. It's in Santa Monica Place in Santa Monica.
Oh, yes.
But there are several True Foods around the United States.
So Google
Just a
it.
handful of them. But go get their vegan ice cream.
How delicious. I'm going to go check out True Foods. That sounds great. Well, Karah, thank you so much for coming. Did you find this helpful?
Absolutely. Love
Good.
you.
I didn't horrify you?
Not at all.
Okay. I'm always worried that everyone comes out here so scared.
No, I appreciated the specific feedback.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Yeah, that's all we ever need, right? Just somebody help a girl out. That's how I always
Give
feel.
me ideas, I'll run with it.
Right, that's right. Because she's a boss-ass bitch, you guys. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Until next time, don't forget your towel. Next week on Audrey Helps Actors, we talk to my representative, Abby McDonald. She is my manager. She's also now an executive producer at a network. And I've been with Abby for maybe 5 years. And wouldn't you know it, those are the 5 years when my career really started to go. So I think it's going to be really informative. I really wanted her on to just talk about how you treat your reps. And now that she's working on the network side as well, she's got just such a wealth of information. So if you haven't ever listened to any of the podcasts like Nerdist, Writers Panel, or any of those where you really listen to executive producers and showrunners talk, it's so important, you guys, to learn that you are just a teeny weeny little cog in a very big machine, okay? So I think you're going to love the episode. She's my homie, so love you. All right, you guys, I hope you found that informative. Update, Karah with an H is still looking for really solid representation. We've got some feelers out. I'm working hard to help her. If you are somebody that you know
that has really great representation. I can't recommend Karah with an H high enough. You know, this is the game, you guys. It's something that really doesn't seem to matter what level you're at. So, you know, even when you meet with a rep and they don't take you, you have to keep that relationship going. You never know when you're going to be a person who's looking for reps or the person that's sort of the hot item that people are looking for. So who knows? Maybe this spring, redheads are going to be all the rage. I think they're all the rage already. Everyone casts a redhead. So good luck to you, Karah. We're going to keep you updated on her success. All right. Big shout out to Karah with an H Donovan. She is so great, you guys. She has been working her tail off, sending me updates. She is really executing every single thing that we have talked about, and I'm really excited for her. When she gets her reps, they're going to be really lucky to have her. She is so kick butt, and she books. So Karah with an H, I'm on it with you, girl, and you're just a star, and I'm so excited for you and your career. I think you should be very excited. All right, you guys. This show is produced and edited by Jesse Lumen. Oh, he's so handsome. Special thanks to Thomas Snodgrass for the mic assistance here and there. He's so generous with his mic. It's good to have your sound guy across the street, you guys. And thanks to Aalok Mehta for some help with the theme song. Music this week and every week by Ari De Niro. And most importantly, don't forget your towel.